right through you. But your heart is empty. Now whatever happened to you, we can't change it. There's nowhere to run to. So please don't let me down. Baby, and I don't understand. Is it trying to hold my hand? Don't wanna leave you, I don't wanna go. I'm losing all control. Can't you see me? I'm slipping away. How can we stay if you've the will to keep me here? Oh Lord. Shining up.
Tight as a tick. It was so good.
Incredible.
So in the end, it goes down the octave from the part.
Like playing drums.
Oh yeah, it's amazing.
Listen up, we are giving away an $8,000 dream bass. It's this gorgeous F bass BN5 right here. And that is just one prize. This month, we're also giving away an incredible Trickfish bass head and an incredible pork and pickle. All you've got to do is become an SPL Insider, and it is 100% free. You'll get entry into our monthly gear giveaways, plus exclusive direct cut videos loaded with pro tips and behind the scenes stuff that you're never going to see on YouTube. All you need to do is click the link in the description or just go to splgiveaway.com, sign up, and boom, you're in. Huge giveaways, exclusive content, totally free. Let's go.
Talk about playing with Phil Collins.
I love Phil so much. Phil and I met doing a Lee Ritenour album in, I think, 1981. I don't remember the name of the album, but we did a track together on it. And I was aware of him through Genesis, and he was aware of me through like James Taylor, but he was also aware of me because of Mike Post's TV things, because they, like in the Genesis show, they would play like Rockford Files and stuff on that. And so he found out that I played on that. So we did that thing, and then he called me to do his Face Value project, and I said, I can't, I'm already busy with James Taylor, I couldn't do it. I said, but so Mo Foster ended up doing it. I said, but man, I'd love to work with you at some point. So, you know, please keep me in mind. In '84, he called me and he said, doing a new album, would you come to London? We worked at Townhouse Studios in London. And that's when we did No Jacket Required. Now, the thing that was weird was he was still not really, I mean, he was the drummer from Genesis at that point, but people really didn't know. And then Sussudio came out. And all of a sudden, when we were playing small venues, and all of a sudden, it was over.
Was that the shift?
That was the shit hit the fan, and we were in arenas and everything. So the whole energy of the thing shifted completely. And so we did that one, and then he called me again. Then after that, they did another Genesis tour, and then he called me in '89 to do the But Serious album. And then we spent '90, was a solid year on the road. I think we went on the road like January 3rd and finished like mid-December. You know, it was like just long. And then we separated in the 90s and stopped working at that point. And then he called me again in 2001 and said, can you come back? I'd like, you to come back. And then we did the first Final Farewell tour. Now the drag with that tour was around that time was when he did the music for Tarzan. And we had, this tour was supposed to encompass Southeast Asia and Africa, and the producers of Tarzan insisted that Phil come to New York and be there for the rehearsals.
Yeah.
So we had to cancel that part of our tour, which was really a drag because we wanted then we went out again, and when we did the last tour, or it was that one, was the essence of, he only wanted to go to places and play where we hadn't been, just to, so we did like Estonia and Latvia and Finland.
Because there was just this sort of like pent up demand because people really
and they never dreamed he'd even show up.
Yeah,
I mean, like we would land like in Turkey and stuff, and they go, he'd go, I bet you didn't think we were going to come, did you? But it was great. He had his energy and his vitality. That one of the things I loved about Phil so much was when we would rehearse for the tour, we'd rehearse for a month for it. We'd go into full production almost immediately, so that it was a fine, well-oiled machine.
Lights, the whole
everything,
thing,
sound,
everything,
lights, stages which had hydraulics and all this shit going on in them. And his attitude was so great. He said, look, that first audience deserves as good a show as the last audience. Because so many acts go out and they'll spend the first couple of weeks of the tour dialing their show in. And so by the time the later audience is seeing it, it's a different show. It's like totally like, So, I mean, when we rehearsed like out at the film studios, like at Shepperton or Bray, we would invite people to come to the rehearsals towards the end and sit and take critiques. Talk to him. I think Barry Manilow and his band came out one day. And
So when you were doing the rehearsals, they'd come and actually
watch it because and we would record every rehearsal so that we could then all go sit and listen to the show and see what it's sounding. I mean, it was like so professional the way he approached it, and he was like to a fault almost engaged in every aspect of the show: lights, sound, pacing, the staging and everything.
Thing.
He was like
so
one of those
outsourcing any
not a guy who just showed up. So I love Phil dearly for that.
Was that his superpower?
Well, his superpower was that he was Phil Collins. Because he was everything. He was like the guy who was just everything involved in it. I mean, he had it, and he knew how to work with the audience. He was so self-deprecating. He would just like goof around on stage with it. And if you want to watch something completely ridiculous at some point, that tour, the 1985 tour, look up on YouTube Phil's band introductions. It's the most unbelievable thing you've ever seen. It went on forever, and it was like a Vegas lounge act. It was.
I think I've seen this.
Oh, it's so nuts.
But
he was that kind of a guy, He was like the every guy, When he lived in Guildford, he was just like he's at the local pub, It didn't matter that he was this world artist. He was like the guy. He was Phil from down the street. And I love Phil for that. Yeah.
The drummer that lives down the street.
Yeah, exactly.